Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the final checkout video of a Mickey Mouse telephone, and this is an AT&T Mickey Mouse, and this is one of the last great telephones they made. It has a 210 handset, and this handset is pretty sought after. So basically, on this final checkout, I have spoke with Chris on the telephone, and he said this telephone is for his young daughter, and that she's pretty excited to be able to use this telephone again, and she's seen the video of the initial checkout, and that his son has also seen the videos, and he started watching them. So now basically what that really comes down to is maybe we have another electronic technician on our hands in the future. And so that would be a good thing, because we definitely need as many electronic technicians in this new age as we can get. So the more you know about it and the younger you start, the better. And so let's start putting this handset back together again. In the initial video, basically took the handset apart and explained that there had been something spilled into the keypad, and basically when we got it apart, that was the situation. There was something spilt in it, and it was doing all kinds of what's called key bouncing. That's when the numbers hit more than one time, and it was doing a lot of different strange things. And I don't know how much you may know about an integrated circuit, which would be an IC chip, but there is a circuitry built into IC chips for dialers that basically account for what's called key bounce. And it's a little timing circuit that basically says, I was hit once, and I don't need to hit several times, just one good connection. But when you have a lot of sticky stuff on the board and a lot of foreign material, it kind of fools that key bounce circuitry within the IC chip, and basically it fools it, and then it starts doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway, what it comes down to is we're going to start putting this handset back together again, and I already have the plastic keypad with all the drawn on conductive material. I already have it in place, and what we can do is basically plug it in here to the board like we have it, and as you can see, it folds together. So you got to make sure that you have this centerpiece, which has little circles cut out of it, and that's to protect the other traces that are on this plastic that are drawn on. This centerpiece keeps them apart from each other, so it's like a protective cover to them, and only allows the circle area where your numbers are at, where your connections are at, that only allows them to touch. So basically at this point we could actually plug this telephone in, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if you can see here on the analyzer, I want to go ahead and unplug it once and then plug it back in. You can see it sees the line. I'm going to turn it up all the way. You can hear we have dial tone, and I'm going to go ahead and dial our numbers. And I'm going to end in a 2. And I'll hit another 2. 6, 2. So we know that this keypad is working now and that it's been cleaned. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start reassembling. I want to pull the line cord out, the handset cord. We're going to start reassembling our keypad cluster. And so what we have here now is we we have this clear bracket, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that, you know, all this goes back together properly. So you just kind of have to start working on it and get it all back together the way it came apart. And I'm just going to reassemble it here real quick. Kind of look it over while we're doing that. We also want to reassemble our faceplate. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure we've got this set up to exactly where it's supposed to be. And then we want to sandwich everything together with it. Get it over here where I can see it a little bit. It can get a little tricky if you've never done it before, so push it all back together again. Now what I do is I test this, you know, now that we've got this sandwiched back together again, I go ahead and test it. We've seized the line. We have dial tone. Now we want to make sure we've got everything. End in a 2. I'm going to disconnect the line. I'm going to plug it back in real quick, and I'm going to hit redial. So we know the telephone is working. If you watch this little red light, which is an indicator on the analyzer up here in the corner, I'm going to tap on the microphone, and you can see that flash. And what I'm doing is I'm checking that the mic is still working properly. And from what I'm seeing here, if I were to transmit into that microphone at this point from me just tapping on it, I can tell by the indicator that that's a nice strong mic signal. So we've got 100% modulation there. Now the other thing I want to show you is there's some issues. I've already cleaned this. This is the low, medium, and high volume on the receive side. Now I've already cleaned this switch. These switches were famous for problems, and this is kind of like a little preventive kind of maintenance that I'm doing since I'm in the telephone, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to resolder that. I've already resoldered this board in several places that I like to resolder them in, but I left 2 places unsoldered at this point because I wanted to show on the video. I'm going to resolder this switch back in. I want to make sure that the solder points on this switch are good. And I kind of want to check this. I'm going to take a good look at it. And that looks good. Now another issue, and I left this open, was on this modular handset port. It's kind of a ongoing problem. A lot of times with use, these solder joints will loosen up. And I have one up here to the top. I know you probably can't see it. The top left side. Now I don't know if this would help you any, but it's right in this area here. And I want to resolder all those points again, because this one, although it's making a connection at this point, at this time, it will fail. And that's why I want to touch it up. And like I said before, everything else that I've seen on this board that I like to solder, I've already done. So basically now it's just a situation of making sure our keypad is in properly. We want to attach it to the board now. And go ahead and do that real quick. I want to put my microphone back in, so we'll get that taken care of. Get these two screws back in this microphone. Now there's two ways to put this in. This is the hook switch. There's a right way, and then there's a wrong way. And I'm going to put it in the right way. We also want to make sure that our switch doesn't get broke, or our switch knob for the volume control. You don't want to set it in there and get it all broke, you know, and squeeze it together when you put your screws back in it. So you got to be careful of that. And we want to just start kind of reassembling the board. And these were really good phones, but the problem is with these telephones is you're limited on parts, because you know, a lot of these that didn't work got thrown away. And if you got a good one, you certainly don't like to part it out for one that needs parts. So, you know, there's not a, you know, unless it's a generic part in this telephone, you're limited, because you're not going to find a lot of parts for these phones. Are they still out there? Yeah, they're out there. And can you find them? Yeah. But they're not that many of them. You're just not going to come across them every day. And if you go out and get a decent one, you're going to have to pay a little bit for it. So, you know, parts are kind of limited to this kind of stuff. So you got to be careful with what you got. And, you know, if you're careful with the repair and stuff, you know, that's why so many people send us their telephones, because, you know, I mean, if it's your first time around or you're not really sure what you're doing, then it's probably not a good idea to mess with it. There we are. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reach over here and we're going to ring the telephone. I'm going to let that go one more time. We're going to check for dial tone. I'm going to hit all three different levels. We're on loud right now, medium, low. So we're on low, medium, and loud. So now we know that switch works. We're going to go through the numbers. And I'm into the 2. I'm going to hang up again, redial. The analyzer will end in a 2, and then I want to do some transmitting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you notice this red light, like I mentioned earlier, we have a nice strong 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So we know all that's working, and we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to guess. We know it's working, and everything's back to normal. And all I basically have to do is go ahead and put the cover back on the back of this unit, and we're straightened out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unplug the unit. I'm going to snap the back plate back on, and I'm going to go ahead and access our handset port again. We have dial tone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the line cord over to a regular line. Give you some dial tone. And we're going to call, say, like a time and temp number.
Good afternoon. Ford, drive one and you'll know. At Offenburg Ford at Belleville and O'Fallon. Today is Thursday, October 13th. The time is 2:03. Current temperature 79 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area. Becoming partly sunny today, breezy, a high in the low 70s, northwest winds gusting to 30. Clear tonight, lows in the upper 40s. Mostly sunny and breezy on Friday, high around 70, west wind gusting to 30.
Now what we want to do is we want to get our center screw back in that holds the casing on. And then we also want to snap our little plate on. I want to dial one other number. We have dial tone. This is going to be my number. It'll be busy. Then let's do, let's say we'll call Walmart.
Thank you for calling Walmart.
See if they answer.
Thanks for calling Walmart Supercenter. We save money, live better. How may I help you?
Yeah, do you guys have any Mickey Mouse telephones over there?
Please hold.
Electronics.
Yeah, do you guys carry any AT&T Mickey Mouse telephones?
We do not know.
Oh, did you guys used to carry them?
Are they like toys?
Yeah, it's a, Mickey Mouse, phone. Some of them were animated, some of them were the originals.
Not that I've seen recently, no.
Okay, because this is like the one with the 210 AT&T handset. It's pretty cool. You guys ought to try to get some.
We have a kind of cell phone looking, small, like range walkie-talkie in toys, but it's not a Mickey Mouse one.
Oh, okay, well, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot for your help.
No problem.
You have a nice day. Bye now. Well, I don't think they have them. So, really what it comes down to is, you either have a Mickey Mouse telephone or you don't. And if you don't have one, you should probably go out and get one because they're really cool. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com. And you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. This is Chris's telephone from California. Thank you for watching and have a great day.